Well, we're thrilled to have you. In this book, well, first, The Great Reset was a true eye-opener. It brought most of America that had no idea what was going on into the light so that they could start to see it. And now the companion, which is almost twice as thick, Dark Future, that you wrote. Why is the future dark? We do the bad, good, beautiful. It's the opposite in Clint Eastwood, the good, the bad, and the ugly. The bad. Why is the future dark?
Yeah, well, I think that the main reason why the future is looking dark at this point in time is because elites and big, gigantic corporations and banks and government and central banks are all working together in concert for really the first time, other than the Great Reset, to seize control and wealth from the rest of society. Now, there's always been periods of history where parts of those things, especially in America, have been working to do that, especially government. But we've never seen the kind of coordination that we're seeing now. And the plan isn't just how do we seize control and power over society today. As conservatives and pro-liberty people, we talk about that a lot. But it's about how are they going to seize control and power and wealth and property in the future as well, using emerging technologies. And that's what Dark Future is all about. It goes through and highlights all of these incredible plans, statements, academic reports, government proposals, policies that have been put into place that very clearly illustrate that Davos, the Biden administration, big corporations, big banks, all of these people, BlackRock, investment management firms like BlackRock, they're all working together to design emerging technologies so that they have more power, control, and wealth over your life. From artificial intelligence to central bank digital currencies and the metaverse and everything you could possibly imagine is covered in this book. That's why it's so thick. We spent tons of time going over these various reports and putting this in their own words, showing you with their own words what the plan is for the future and controlling you and your home and your family and your church. And that's why the future is looking dark right now.
Yeah, and it's not a brand new plan. I mean, the plan has been around for a long time. You start your book and you quote Eisenhower about the military-industrial complex. And I think in Great Reset, you may have quoted Cleon Skousen in The Naked Communist, the 45 goals of the Communist Party and so forth. That's been around for a long time. But now they have the technological capability to actually enforce it, something that's never existed before in history. You know, we read in the book of Revelation about, you know, the ability for a antichrist to control what we buy and sell. But now that technology exists, and it exists in a virtual world that can control everyone anywhere on the planet.
Yeah, one of the things that I love to tell people is that, you know, authoritarians used to have to mass murder people to control them. Like that was the telltale. I mean, every authoritarian regime that has ever existed at some point in time, if they are not stopped by the people, they eventually turn to start mass murdering people. They start imprisoning people. They start hardcore crackdowns. And the reason for that is not because those authoritarian regimes in the past are somehow worse than the authoritarians that we see today morally. They're really not. The difference is they felt like they had to. That was the only way to control people. It was the only way to silence people. It was the only way to centralize power and control in these communist nations and things like that. But today, technology allows governments, it allows corporations, it allows banks to all work together in a sort of non-bloody authoritarian regime. Like that's essentially what's occurring is we have a non-bloody authoritarian oligarchy that has formed in the Western world where they have seized massive amounts of control and property and wealth, and they're going to seize more of it in the future, and they can do it without firing shots. I mean, they can do that, but they don't have to anymore, and technology is what makes that possible. A lot of people don't even realize that they're the victims of it until it comes knocking on their door in a really authoritarian, in-your-face sort of way.
Sort of like you can't keep your job unless you take this vaccine.
Without a doubt.
That's economic warfare, isn't it? All of this is economic warfare, but the scary part is they don't have to mass murder, but they could mandate. And I'm not saying, you know, I'm not trying to get into conspiracy theory on the existing mRNA vaccine or whatever, but isn't it possible that they could create a vaccine that they required you to take, you were not allowed to question it, and it would cause you to terminate your cells to die at age 30 or something? That technology is almost here.